Hello, I'm Marlis Arnold, trade show marketing consultant and author of the book, Build a Better Trade Show Image. Welcome to the Trade Show Insights podcast with news, tips, and tools to expand your knowledge of exhibiting. Today's episode is all about how well do you speak the attendees language. Do you speak a second language? If so, how did you learn, and how well do you communicate in that language? Personally, I took a year of French in high school, and although I sounded fairly good at the time, now pretty much all I can do is say hello, Bonjour, and count to 10, plus just maybe a few other random words. My husband and I have also had a desire to learn Mandarin for several years, and so we purchased several books and audio sets. We even attended an introductory workshop and learned some basic pronunciation tips, which Mandarin is very tricky, in case you didn't realize. But since we've never really focused on learning the language, about all I know how to say is hello, ni hao, and thank you, xie xie. While those are some good basic words to know, they really wouldn't get us very far if we were actually in China. Now, you may be thinking that this only relates to international exhibiting, but you're wrong. Every time you set up a booth, you have to become fluent in the language of the attendees at that show. And while that may not involve learning to speak French, Mandarin, Spanish, or any other global language, it still requires some focused study. For example, are your signs and materials in the booth written from the perspective of what your ideal client wants to know? Or do you even recognize what that is? You can't use a lot of we and us bullet points and expect the attendees to be impressed. No one really cares about how we've been rated safest in the industry for the past 10 years. Instead, you've got to make it all about them and how you meet their needs using words like you and your. So, for example, you won't find a safer XYZ product as ABC Company discovered with their 400% improved safety record. Then you can include a testimonial or case study. See the difference? You've also got to lose the corporate speak. Don't use words like core competency, integrated solutions, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes I think corporate copywriters need journalists to translate their jargon into plain English. Here's an example. And by the way, the names have been removed to protect the guilty. Our long experience ranges from enterprise brand architecture to complex solution selling. More recently, we've concentrated on the changing responsibilities of marketing executives as they face the corporate culture challenges created by the new social media. Say what? Now, I'm pretty sure you don't talk like that, so why would you want to write like that? A good rule of thumb is to share your wording with family or friends outside your industry to see if they can make sense of what you're selling. Or better yet, see if a 10-year-old can figure out what you're talking about. Not that attendees are like 10-year-olds, except that they are when it comes to how much effort they want to put into figuring out what you're trying to say. Now, there are many other factors involved in communicating effectively with attendees that we'll cover during our featured Strategy of the Month calls for June in the Exhibit Marketers Cafe. You'll gain ideas for defining your ideal client or buyer personas, telling a story, asking the right questions, and touching the emotions, even if your product or service isn't exactly an emotional one. So, how well do you speak the attendees' language? Trade Show Insights is protected by the Creative Commons copyright license. You may feel free to share this recording with colleagues as long as it is shared in its entirety and is not used for commercial purposes. To learn more, please see the link in the show notes. Well, that's it for this episode of Trade Show Insights. Be sure to check out our show notes at tradeshowinsights.com. Until next time, I'm Marlis Arnold. Thanks for listening.